if you're a wrestling fan, I just want to make things perfectly clear. Yes, there is a coronavirus going on. But this is something that needs to be said. If you are a wrestling fan, and you are crapping on WWE's product, even while there's a virus going on, then this proves to me that you don't care. Virus or not, virus or no virus, you just don't care about wrestling. But here's the thing. I hear people say that WWE can't put on a good show in an empty arena, but somehow AEW can put on a better show in an empty arena. Now, this is no knock on AEW. If their stuff's getting better, that's great. I don't watch AEW. I don't need to, because I hear it all the damn time on Twitter. But all I'm saying is that I feel like WWE, with these no arenas, with these empty arena shows, you may think I'm crazy, but I personally think they've been pretty good. Without the fans, sure, there may be some moments that need the fans, like the Otis and Mandy stuff. Yes, that needs the fans. Drew McIntyre, yes, in his crowning moment, yes, that definitely deserved the fans. But what we got at the end with Drew McIntyre, I believe WWE would not have done this if there was people. WWE would not have done what they did if there was people in the audience. If they did this with people in the audience, you know the fans would have been rioting, getting very, very nauseous and nervous, and basically giving everybody a heart attack. And that's exactly how I felt when they showed Drew McIntyre. And look, I was very intrigued on what they were going to do with this Drew McIntyre thing. Breaking news, this is what happened after WrestleMania. I was intrigued. I was like, ooh, okay, this is good. Maybe they show something really cool. Maybe they'll show something really cool that happened with Drew McIntyre. Maybe they'll show something cool with him backstage. Or, you know, I thought they would show something pretty interesting. But no, 20 minutes after Drew McIntyre defeats Brock Lesnar, he defends his title once again, this time against the Big Show. Talk about giving everybody a heart attack. Look, Big Show was always going to put over Drew McIntyre, but you're just all like, at the same time, you're just like, Jesus Christ, like you have no idea what WWE could have done here. But Drew McIntyre beat Big Show in a pretty much a match that's considered a heart attack match, because fans all around the world, including myself, were all bloody concerned that, Jesus Christ, can you imagine if WWE had the Big Show win the WWE Championship from Drew McIntyre right after he won it from Brock Lesnar? That would have been crazy, but thankfully it didn't happen. But I know it was all taped. Apparently, from what I've been told, that SmackDown wasn't taped. SmackDown's probably going to be live, is what I was told. NXT and Raw were only taped. We don't know if WWE... As far as I know, I think WWE is not going on break. I think WWE is not going on break. They've promoted Money in the Bank, and it seems like that they're not going to be going on break. It seems like they're going to be continuing on with their weekly television. And I applaud WWE. I applaud WWE for doing it. Yes, I understand some people may think, it is for the best, that they should shut down and, you know, take a break for a month or so. But I mean, I'm okay with WWE continuing their shows is because, well, I would rather do something. Can't watch AFL football anymore because that's been cancelled until May 31st, possibly until June. Can't really watch any other sports. Everything else has pretty much been cancelled and canned, booted, you know, for a long time. And I feel like wrestling's the only thing I watch, and if there's been no wrestling, sure, I've got a lot of wrestling DVDs in my room. But at the same time, I would actually rather keep watching WWE on a week-to-week basis than just not do anything. I mean, I would much rather actually watch wrestling on a week-to-week basis with no people. Because as I've told you guys, I feel like these empty shows have possibly been good for the company because you see the wrestlers, you know, being serious. Like you see the wrestlers, I may not have cared about the Last Man Standing match at WrestleMania, but the one thing that Edge and Randy did right was that they were being brutal with each other. They were hitting each other really hard and, you know, making it look real. So me personally, I feel like the empty arena stuff has actually kind of helped WWE in a way because you see them trash talking, you hear them screaming and moaning when they're in pain. You know, I feel like the empty arena stuff is fine. Sure, it's weird at first, but then when you continue to watch, I actually don't mind it as much. Like, if AEW, like I said, if AEW is continuing their shows in empty arenas, why not WWE? Why not WWE continue theirs? So, as long as AEW keep doing their shows in empty arenas, I feel like WWE will keep doing the same thing. So, I applaud WWE for continuing these shows, because I feel like it'd be kind of weird to take a couple of months off with no wrestling. So yeah, I quickly spoke about the main event because, you know, didn't really care much, but it was just all about giving everybody a heart attack with Drew McIntyre beating the Big Show. The start of the show was Asuka taking on Liv Morgan. This was the opening match. Very good match. And I'm going to be honest here, I'm actually going to surprise you people. I feel like the wrong person won this match. What? Yeah, you heard me right. I feel like the wrong person won. Now, if you want to know why I feel like Liv Morgan should have won, is because, hear me out here. The reason why I think Liv Morgan should have won is because I feel like Asuka is at that stage in her career. She's 38 years old. She's not getting any older. She's not getting any older, okay? She ain't getting any younger. Which is what I should have said. She's not getting any younger. She's nearly approaching 40. And I feel like Asuka should be starting to put people over. Yes, it may be shocking to hear me say this, but I feel like she's at that stage of her career where I feel like she should start putting people over. She's older than Natalya. She's older than Natalya, and Asuka is still beating younger talent while Natalya puts over all the younger talent. Sometimes she will win depending on who it is, but I feel like Asuka should have really start putting over younger talent. Who cares anymore? Because, here's the thing. I'm tired of everybody talking about how Asuka needs to continue being the Asuka from NXT. No, that Asuka's dead. That Asuka is gone. There's no reason for Asuka to continue to be looked at as a credible, as someone who's dangerous. I'm done with Asuka being that type of person. We know Asuka's been humanized. We know this. So, what's the point trying to hope that Asuka can be the same person? that she's all that she should have that she was in NXT. I'm done with that. I feel like I'm done with that. I think Asuka should really start putting people over. She's not getting any younger. She's 38, nearly approaching 40. I feel like she needs to start putting over younger talent. So, yeah, you may think I'm crazy. I think Liv Morgan should have won this match. I think Liv Morgan should have defeated Asuka. Because, can you imagine Liv Morgan defeating Asuka? What a victory that would have done for her career. Defeating a former women's champion is like the best thing that could ever happen to a younger superstar. Beating Natalya is like, whatever. You know, beating Natalya isn't really anything special anymore. It's just Natalya. But Liv Morgan, you know, beating an Asuka clean or a Kairi Sane clean, that would do big for her career. That would do wonders for Liv Morgan. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that WWE didn't give Liv Morgan this win. Unless they really want to keep pushing Asuka to eventually become the champion again, I don't see the meaning behind this win. I think Asuka, you know, really needs to start putting people over. Like, I say the same thing about Charlotte, so I'm going to say the same thing here about Asuka. Charlotte, she had a promo close to the end of the show, and I want to mention this real quickly here, because I hear a lot of people complaining about promos, and what counts as a promo and what doesn't count as a promo. This backstage interview does count as a promo. I feel like this promo with Charlotte was better than her usual ones, because it was backstage and it wasn't really scripted. But the reason why I'm bringing up promos is because I get so tired. I get so tired of hearing fans say that Alexa Bliss doesn't hold a microphone, or she's never given promo time. So all those times she's done Moment of Bliss isn't promo time? Well, according to the people that I talk to, yes. Apparently the people that I talk to, apparently they think Moment of Bliss doesn't count as Alexa cutting a promo. So you mean to tell me that The Miz and John Morrison, when they do Miz TV / Dirt Sheet, so you mean to tell me when they do those shows, they're not cutting a promo? They clearly are! They clearly are cutting a promo! Now, I don't want to yell, I don't want to get angry, but come on. But come on. Of course Alexa Bliss cuts promos. She cuts promos all the time when she does Moment of Bliss segments. She's had a few backstage ones. You know, like, it doesn't matter how many sentences they utter. If it's a promo, it's a promo. Because I've heard some people say, oh, she only said, like, a sentence. She only said like a sentence, or she only said like a couple of words. They're still promos. I don't know how you call a talk show not a promo. Like this backstage interview here with Charlotte Flair, that was a promo. That's like saying this isn't a promo. It is a promo. Good grief, man. I think good grief. It's just so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous how people have no freaking clue what a promo is. If you are on TV, if it's airing on your TV, it's a promo. If it's something that doesn't air, then it's not a promo. So next we had 3 matches involving the Street Profits. Well, it was just a big altercation with these guys. Street Profits defended their tag team belts against Theory and Garza. Street Profits won by disqualification because Zelina Vega was caught red-handed trying to cheat. Then Bianca Belair made her Raw debut and challenged Zelina Vega to a one-on-one match. And Bianca Belair, that ended in no contest, or DQ. Bianca Belair's match with Zelina Vega ended in DQ. And then we got a 6-person match involving the Street Profits, Bianca Belair, Theory, Garza, and Vega. And then finally, Bianca Belair nails the Kiss of Death to Zelina Vega, the KOD, but I'm just going to call it the Kiss of Death since I now know what the hell it means. And there's your win. So Bianca Belair is now officially on the Raw roster. And Bianca Belair as a babyface, meh, I can get behind it, I guess. It's not too bad, I guess. I'm not too fussed by it, honestly. I don't care if she's a face. I don't care if she's a heel. That doesn't bother me. The only thing that I'm not okay with is her being with the Street Profits. That's the only thing I'm not really okay with. I don't want to see her with her husband, Montez Ford, because here's the thing. The reason why I don't want her with them is because if you look at Bianca. Now, I haven't seen a lot of Bianca Belair. I've seen a couple of her matches on NXT and at takeovers. But if you look at Bianca, she's got that serious type of vibe to her. She's got that kind of character that you... And also, in NXT, people don't boo her. People in NXT don't boo her anyway, so it makes sense that they made her a babyface, because she's so likable. But she's so serious. She comes out here talking about how she's the roughest, the toughest, the fastest, and every other word you can think of with the word EST at the end. She's just so serious. Can you see her dancing? Can you imagine her dancing? Throwing her arms and legs around like a tool? Holding cups like Montez Ford and looking silly? Her being with them will make her look silly. I feel like she needs to be on her own. And against the wall with the pressure building, and she will never fall. I mean, I just wish she was on her own. That's all I want. Let Bianca do her thing, and let the Street Profits do their thing. I don't like it when WWE put real life couples together on television because it comes off forced. It comes off forced. It doesn't come off natural. It's like, oh hey, these two are dating. That's all they're basically telling us. So I wish they'd stop that. It will probably only be a matter of time until they do that with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Speaking of Aleister Black, he has a match and he goes one-on-one with Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is now part of Monday Night Raw. They announced that Apollo Crews was drafted to Raw, and I didn't know they were doing a Superstar shakeup. Weird. I thought that was a kind of an interesting way to do it. Fantastic match. This was a fantastic match. This was a great contest between two superstars. This is the type of stuff I want to see on a week-to-week basis. Great action and great wrestling. It is a shame. It is a shame that Apollo Crews, as talented as this guy is, he's been on the main roster for like 4 years and he has no character. He hasn't developed a character. They haven't given him like a gimmick. He's just a smiley human being. That's all he is. He's just a guy that smiles. You know, I wouldn't mind if they, made him a heel and gave him... I wouldn't mind if they made him a heel. Tried to give him a new character. But no, all this guy does is smile. And this was a great match. This was such a great match. And it makes me realize they have a great potential talent in Apollo Crews, and they are doing literally nothing with him. It makes me feel so sad for Apollo Crews. I wish they'd give him something to do. I wish they'd give him a character, giving him a general direction. But at the same time, this was a fantastic match. This match was better than the Edge and Randy Orton Last Man Standing match. Because at least it's two guys I can genuinely care about. The Orton and Edge match, I couldn't care less about. But yeah, this was a great matchup. If you haven't seen it, I advise you to go watch it. It was fantastic. fantastic. Aleister Black won with a black mass. Bobby Lashley was backstage. This is something that is completely boggling my mind. Bobby Lashley is making it clear that he doesn't like Lana. He's making it very clear that he's frustrated with Lana and he wants to move away from her. And Lana comes into view and she's like, "What are you guys talking about?" Bobby Lashley just says nothing and walks off. So let me get this straight. This is just me being honest. It's not me complaining. It's just me being completely honest here. You go through. WWE has the balls to do the shit that we saw with Bobby Lashley and Lana for like how long? 3, 4, 5 months? 6 months? I'm not sure how long it went on for, but it was genuinely a long time. It ended in February. I think it started around September and finished in February. So I think that was about 5-6 months. So you give us this long, drawn out, and terrible storyline with Bobby Lashley and Lana. And now all of a sudden you move them on from this storyline and now you want to break them up. That makes no sense. But at the same time, I really couldn't care less. If they're going to break them up, then fine, whatever. But it's just like, why? Why would you go through all the effort to do this angle and get them together, only to have them break up? Is Bobby Lashley leaving the company? Is Lana leaving the company? I don't know what's going on. I know Rusev is kind of on a falling out with WWE because he hasn't been on TV for a while. But I don't know, man. This is just so weird. So next we had Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. They are now officially a tag team. Very happy about this. I love this team of Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. They took on NXT superstars Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Now, finally, I prefer this over jobber matches. Why can't WWE do this all the time? If you can't find anyone, and this is me being honest, I hear people all the time say how much they cannot stand jobber matches. And I feel like just picking out a couple of NXT stars and just throw them out there for just a little bit of exposure and to have a really fun, enjoyable match, then all's right in the world in my opinion. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander defeated the NXT tag team of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and Ricochet's new finisher is the Devastation Kick. Now it still has the same name, the Recoil, but his old Recoil was just a code breaker, a kind of a version of a code breaker, but now it's a Devastation Kick that TJ Perkins used to do. Seth Rollins took on some person. I'm pretty sure this was someone from NXT, but I didn't catch his name. But WWE.com says that his name is Denzel and J.O. Nets. However, I actually spelled it out for you guys. It's DEJOURNETTE. So yeah. I don't know if this guy's from NXT. I have no clue who he is, so I'm assuming he's a jobber. Because this guy just got absolutely annihilated. Seth Rollins just completely destroyed him. And, yeah, that's that with him. Curb stomp. See you later, Denzel. We had the return of Nia Jax. She beat Deonna Purrazzo. As I said, it's better than Nia just beating up a local. And, yeah, Nia beat Deonna Purrazzo with the Rampage. Nia used the Rampage DDT, Paige's finishing move. And then Paige took to Twitter to let everybody know that she has given Nia the rights to her finisher. I'm sorry, but this pretty much is basically confirming that Paige is most likely going to be Nia Jax's manager. If Nia is doing Paige's moves, then you know it'll only be a matter of time until Paige becomes her manager. Alberto Carrillo took on Brendan Vink from NXT, and a bit of a surprising news for me is that this Brendan Vink is actually an Australian. Bit of surprise for me. And Brendan Vink ended up losing, which of course he did, because he's Australian. The Australians always lose. And yeah, Alberto Carrillo won that, and that was pretty much all of Raw. I already talked about the ending, where WWE nearly gave everybody a heart attack. There's one more thing I want to talk about before I go. And that's the NXT situation with Bianca Belair's call-up. SmackDown has to have a call-up, and more importantly, SmackDown has to have like an offer for Apollo Crews. And if I had to pick anybody who would join SmackDown, I would pick EC3. I'd pick EC3 and I'd move him over to SmackDown, give him something new, something fresh to do. I don't know where EC3's been. I'm thinking he's injured. I'm not sure where he is, but, you know, I think moving him over to the blue brand would be a good move for EC3. Now, as for the NXT call-ups, there has to be an NXT call-up coming to SmackDown. And the one person that comes to my mind is none other than Rhea Ripley. Now, some people may think it's too early to bring up Rhea Ripley, but it makes sense to be her. To me, it makes sense to be Rhea. I feel like SmackDown desperately needs, a new, fresh name. Sure, they've got Bayley. Sure, they've got Naomi. Sure, they've got Sasha. They've got Mandy. They've got Sonya. SmackDown's got a hell of a good talent resume. Well, other than Lacey Evans, she's garbage. Other than Lacey Evans and Tamina, who I think are two of the worst wrestlers on the SmackDown's roster, you got a pretty good amount of good talent on SmackDown. And adding Rhea Ripley to that list would actually be really, really good. I think Rhea would be a good first opponent for Bayley. I think she would. I think Bayley needs something to do before she eventually faces Sasha. I can definitely see Rhea Ripley making a shocking debut during a Bayley-Sasha segment, where Bayley's trying to explain, or like Sasha and Bayley are bickering. So yeah, I think Rhea Ripley is going to be called up to the main roster, and that's the way I see it. And maybe during the Alexa Bliss's Moment of Bliss segments, maybe the Iconics stun everybody and they return back to SmackDown. I really hope that happens too. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much your Monday Night Raw. Hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts down below, and I will see you all next time.